The wet weather returns, but for how long? We have your answers. Schools shut down. LAUSD workers walk off the job, meaning no school for thousands of kids. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Rundown. I'm Robin Winston. Here's a look at the LA River flowing through Universal City. With this storm, fire officials are reminding people to stay away from the rushing water. Crews have been busy with swift water rescues. There have been a half dozen in just the past week. That includes this rescue in Highland Park over the weekend. LA fire crews found a car in the Arroyo Seco Channel, but no one inside. They eventually found a man further down the river and pulled him to safety. This storm has dozens of people in San Clemente watching the hillsides nervously after this landslide from last week's storm. 4 buildings along Buena Vista are just too dangerous to enter. Mayor Chris Duncan says if property owners can prove their buildings are safe to re-enter, then tenants can return. But he says it's possible some of the residences are beyond repair. Well, this is video of heavy snow falling up in the San Bernardino Mountains in Rim Forest near Highway 18. Several inches of snow accumulated on the ground with more on the way. Some communities in the San Bernardino Mountains are under an evacuation warning right now because this storm has the potential to cause mud flows. This warning covers Oakland, Forest Falls, Mountain Home Village, and Angeles Oaks, and northeast Yucaipa. These areas contain burn scars from the El Dorado and Apple fires. Mountain communities that are still trying to recover from the previous storms are now getting hit with more rain and snow. Potentially heavy snowfall can bury homes, leaving people trapped inside, and the snow can also pile up on the roads into the mountains, stopping travel. The County Public Works says they are ready to clear the roads.
We have on-call contractors. They're all activated. As soon as we get 2 inches on the ground, we start plowing. What we start with is plow trucks and graders. They move along defined routes to try to keep the roads less than 8 inches at all times.
Fire officials say they are expecting roof collapses from potentially heavy snowfall and possible power outages from the high wind. With the weeks of record snow and more falling right now, Big Bear Mountain Resort is extending its season through April. That means skiers and snowboarders will have an extra month to get up to the mountains. Well, this is the most snow the resort has gotten in the last 20 years. And no, we're not done yet. Meteorologist Belinda Leon is tracking more wet weather heading our way.
We've got another major storm on our hands with heavy rain, strong winds, and also mountain snow. And here's how it's going to play out over 2 days. The first round of rain will be Tuesday morning. The second round will be Tuesday afternoon with heavy rain plus a possibility of thunderstorms and gusty winds. And then the third round is going to be on Wednesday with on and off showers throughout the day. So we could see accumulations from 1 to 3 inches for most with higher amounts in the foothills. Now here's the other thing to keep in mind. Some very gusty winds are expected for us. For most, 30 to 60-mile-per-hour winds that could bring down trees, cause power outages. This is also going to cause some difficult travel conditions. And avoid travel in the mountain if you can. For the next 2 days, we're going to see that snow stack up above 6,000 feet from 16 inches to 3 feet. We could also see impacts to the Grapevine late Tuesday into Wednesday. Be safe.
Classes were called off Tuesday in the LA Unified School District. All schools in LAUSD were forced to shut down after workers began a 3-day strike over a wage dispute.
I can make more money working at a fast food chain than I do here. We don't have any TAs in this school site. We're doing 2-3 positions at one time and getting paid the same.
Workers are asking for a 30% wage increase. The district argues that they've made a strong offer of a 23% wage increase with a 3% cash in hand bonus. School Superintendent Alberto Cavallo says that the district is available 24/7 to sit and make negotiations to end the strike as soon as possible. 3 days is a long time for parents and families who have to figure out childcare options while juggling their jobs. So there are some alternative plans for those who can't take time off work. Student supervision is available at more than 150 selected schools across the district from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can see which location is closest to you on our website, NBCLA.com. Other childcare options would be LA County Parks that are extending its recreation programs from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. at 18 locations. A tense time at a town hall meeting with families who have kids at Bellflower Middle and High Schools. Monday night, parents and staff discuss the arrest of a student who had a loaded gun at school. It's the second incident in the past couple of weeks where a student from these schools was detained with a loaded gun. At one point, parents were yelling questions from the bleachers to school officials. Many say they are just frustrated with how the school has handled the incidents.
These parents care. That's why we are here. So we need to come to an agreement that we need to solve this issue. There is a security problem here at this campus, and we need to address it. It took 2 incidents for you guys to finally reach out to the parents and say something to us. It should have been the first time, not the second time. The first time you guys knew there was a gun on campus, we should have had this meeting, not the second time.
That's true. That's true.
Not the second time.
The school released a statement saying the safety and well-being of students is of paramount importance. They're working with staff on new strategies and providing emotional support for students. A search is underway for a man behind 2 armed robberies in Koreatown. Surveillance video shows one of the attacks. We'll take a look. This is the first robbery that happened on March 15th off of Beverly Boulevard. 2 people are seen walking to their car when a man runs up to them, points a gun at them, and steals their belongings. The other crime happened on 3rd Avenue. If you have any information, please call police. It's been 100 days since LA Mayor Karen Bass took office, and LA's first female mayor says during those 100 days, the city has provided housing to 4,000 homeless people. Now, the majority of those found housing through programs that started before Bass took office. But the mayor's office says 1,000 people are now housed thanks to the mayor's Inside Safe program, which has been taking unhoused people off the streets and checking them into hotels and motels. Inside Safe has run operations at 13 locations so far, including Echo Park and Skid Row. Ruth Bader Ginsburg put her stamp on U.S. law, and now the U.S. is putting the late Supreme Court justice on a stamp. Later this year, RBG will be honored with her own portrait on Mail Correspondence. LX News contributor Greg Bledsoe talked with the artist about the process.
Some people you can paint and the light just comes right through. She did have a kind of a twinkle in her eye. Beautiful eyes. And when I got the call, I was just thrilled. I was really thrilled because Ruth Ginsburg, she is an American icon. My name is Michael Dees. This will be the 25th postage stamp I've done for the U.S. Postal Service. These are some of the stamps I've done. This is the first stamp I did was Tennessee Williams, and then Marilyn Monroe, Betty Davis, I did that one, and Lewis and Clark, there's Edgar Allan Poe, Bogart, Duke Hanamoko, Cary Grant, Thornton Wilder. I think it's 6 or 7 covers for Time magazine. This is the logo I painted for Columbia Pictures. George Bush and Gerald Ford. One of the easiest I ever had to do was Ronald Reagan. We couldn't miss. One of the most difficult I ever had to do was Audrey Hepburn. If you were off by just the tiniest little hair, it didn't look like her or it lost something.
Have you ever gotten a letter in the mail with a stamp on it that you painted?
Yeah, it's a kick. it's a kick. It's a real thrill. Yeah. You see a particularly nice postage stamp, it kind of pulls you in. It's like a little, miniature piece of art, if it's good. Okay, this is a photograph of Ruth Ginsburg by Philip Birmingham, and then from this photograph, I did a series of sketches. The most difficult thing, believe it or not, was her collar. She had her dissent collar. When she was going to disagree with the rest of the court, she wore this one specific collar. Trust me, there's something about that collar. It's geometric, and if you don't get the geometry just right, there's a ripple effect. If you try to fake it, it looks like you're trying to fake it. So the Postal Service, they have a research company that looks into things, and they found somebody in Europe who made a replica of it. And then this is the finished version. That took about 2 weeks at least to paint just that collar. Looking at their face either draws me in, and I get interested, like, who was this person? What were they really like? Regardless of how you might perceive her politically, like, she's the real deal. I mean, she's so straightforward and such a clear thinker and, not flamboyant with words, very common sense.
How wrong it is to judge people on the basis of what they look like.
She made a tremendous difference in women's rights. One of the things I try to do in the stamp is to get a little hint of a twinkle in her eye, like a little bit of a wry wit. I think she did have a kind of dry, subtle sense of humor to add something to it. I don't want to just copy a photograph. I mean, anybody can do that, but I wanted to give it a little sparkle and a little bit more of a smile. This sort of delicate-looking elderly woman was such a powerhouse. I hope it captures her in the best light possible. I think if it's good and well printed, people notice. I mean, a good stamp, you'll remember it.
Very nice to see. Magic Johnson appears to be looking to expand his sports portfolio. He has reportedly joined an investor group that's bidding to buy the Washington Commanders. The Laker legend is already a part owner of the Dodgers, the Sparks, and LAFC. Current owner Daniel Snyder is reportedly under pressure from the NFL to sell the team amid allegations of harassment and a toxic work environment. According to a report in Sportico, the sale could be completed in time for the NFL owners' meeting at the end of the month. The latest White House press briefing got a boost with some serious star power. The cast of Ted Lasso joined the press secretary Monday. The actors visited Washington to meet with the president and first lady about the importance of mental health care across the country. Actor Jason Sudeikis spoke before the meeting.
So, no matter who you are, no matter where you live, no matter who you voted for, we all probably, I assume, we all know someone who has, or have been that someone ourselves actually, that's struggled, that's felt isolated, that's felt anxious, that has felt alone.
A Ted Lasso style "Believe" sign was taped right there above the Oval Office door before the meeting. Very nice. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune into Today in LA on NBC4, weekdays 4 to 7 a.m. I'll be helping you get around with the traffic reports throughout the morning. I'll see you next time on The Rundown.